afternoon to you, our cherished and discerning listeners. It's another beautiful and blessed and rather rainy Wednesday, and we're happy to bring you another exciting edition of your favorite business development program on radio, Masterclass. Masterclass is powered by Joy Business and brought to us by Goyle. Goyle, they say good energy, Goyle, Yenara, Yedia. Masterclass also brought to us by GH Genome. GH Genome, our duty to decode. My name, as always, is Barnafo, and I'm happy to bring you today's edition of Masterclass. Today's show is one of those shows that I would usually say comes with mixed feelings, because even though we get to continue our conversation here on customer experience, stroke customer service, today is also the last show where we'll have our resource person, Esther Dokua Fosuhini, here with us on the show. But again, we'll try and take as much information from her as possible, and I'm sure that sometime in the year, we may be privileged to have her back to share some additional thoughts with us. For those of us who have been following our conversation, I'll just read a quick bit of Esther's resume for those who don't know who Esther is. And for those who have missed the shows, the last 3 shows, please go to our Facebook page. We have all those shows recorded on there. By all means, do download those videos and watch them, and use them as training videos if you like, or informational videos for your company. On my way to the studio this afternoon, I had a call from 1 or 2 people who listened to Masterclass, and they said, yeah, can you send me the video for today's show? If you are in that same light, you're asking, how can I get the same information? Please go to our Facebook page, download those videos, and use them as you will. Our resource person today is the founder and president of CXP Ghana Association. She's also the managing consultant of Ream CXC Limited. She's a global thought CX leader. She's got a Bachelor of Arts in English and French, an EMBA in Strategic Human Resources. She's a certified customer experience professional. She's also a certified customer service expert, and she's a certified professional trainer. She's been named among the top 25 CX world leaders in 2020, and she's currently the head of customer experience at the First National Bank. My guest for today is, I was going to say in the next couple of weeks. The next couple of weeks I ran out. My guest for today, and hopefully in the near future, is Esther Dokua Ofosuhini. Esther, mixed feelings, but you're welcome to today's show.
Thank you, Yao.
We're happy to have you. We're happy to have you.
I'm happy to be here, and good afternoon to all your discerning listeners on this rainy but sunny, suddenly
sunny afternoon.
Yes,
right. I mean, we've tried to sort of stem the conversation in four topical areas. For those who like to take notes, we've talked about customer experience as a discipline and the role of the CX professional. That was the very first show. Second show, we talked about customer experience strategy. And then last week, we spoke about the customer-centric culture and organizational adoption. For those who like to take notes, today we'll be talking about the voice of customer methodology, its considerations and mechanisms. We will try and get interactive real early in the show today. We will try, because there's still quite a bit of information that we need to share. And when we do get interactive, I want you to pick up that phone, give us a call. We want to hear what your one customer experience has been this week, whether it's good or bad. Let's give commendation to those who offered it if it's good, and let's give encouragement to those who offered it if it's bad. But either ways, let's try and build ourselves, our businesses, our nation, to become a great nation that offers excellent customer experience. I did get the question as feedback last week, Esther. Before you give me your one experience, let's spend a few minutes talking about the difference between customer service and customer experience. And we got this feedback all the way from Esther's partners in the United Kingdom. I did mention to you that Esther is an international woman. She's a daughter of the soil, but her people are listening all the way. She's a judge on one of the panels as well for customer experience, and they called and said, please let our people understand the difference between customer service and customer experience. So Adjoa and team, if you are listening, Esther is going to do that quick distinction, and then she's going to tell us that one experience, and then we'll go straight into today's content, if you will.
Okay.
Please take it away.
Thank you very much. So I'll start with customer service. I think we've already hosted the whole show on customer service, so I won't elaborate too much on it. It is when you receive a service, when you're buying something, or when you enter a shop, how the interaction with that person at the shop and the pleasantness and all of that is the service you're receiving. So we have after-sales service. That's how we normally call it. It's a purchasing service, and then the after-sales service, how you reach out to them and all that. Okay, so that is service. That is very human-centric. So it boils down to people. Service is delivered by people. So that is the difference. That is service. Experience is all interactions you have across all touch points of an organization. Example, when you take an app and you are purchasing something, that is a touch point. but it's not a human you're interfacing with. It's technology, right? Digital. When you call the call center, that is service because you are talking to a person. So any other touch point, any other system you use to interact with an organization that does not include people, and those that include people together makes experience.
Right.
So that's the definition. So it's the sum total of all your interactions across all touch points: website, app, ATM, when you are filling a form, an advert on radio. They are all touch points.
The look and feel.
The look and feel of the building.
Temperature.
Anything aside the human part of it is experience. And everything, including the human part of it, makes the experience. And that is why service is very critical to customer experience. Because when the online experience is bad and you need to call for a human intervention, that is when service comes in. So service is very proactive. If you don't approach them or call them, they hardly reach out to you. Experience is there. Everywhere you go, you have to interact with the touch points. And that is why we always say that you need to design it intentional. So this morning, on my way to the office, I left the house quite early, like I always do. And I was listening to Joy FM is my station. So I was listening to Kojo. And today his inspirational discussion was on service.
Right.
And he was saying maybe because of the translation, he gave the translation of service in our local language, meaning to serve. And that is why people see service as, a demeaning thing. And maybe that is how it's affecting people. But the story he gave brought it home, the difference between experience and service. The fact that he went with his friend to purchase an item in a shop, a supermarket, and there was a long queue because there was sales and non-sale. There was a sale promotion going on. And there were a lot of people in the queue who were trying to pay off sales items. But he was non-sale. And so somebody approached him and said, oh, let's move up the queue and go and pay because your item is not for sale. So you have to jump the queue. And he said, no, we are all people. We are all customers. So even if I am a non-sale item, I'll still stand in queue and make my payment. So the lady said, fine. So they stood in for almost an hour. And when it was one person ahead of them to get to the till, another service person brought a customer who had also purchased a non-sale item and said, boss, please, this one is non-sale. So let him jump the queue. It's his privilege. And he was trying to explain to them, I'm also non-sale, but I stood in the queue. And the attitude of the one behind the till was more like, you know what? I don't care if you whatever. I can leave today if I want. They don't even pay me enough anyway. Very disrespectful to Kojo and his friend. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, you see, that's the clear indication between differences between service and experience. If they had gotten the experience right, the service would have been perfect because their processes had a question mark to it. The process was, if you take a non-sale item, jump the queue.
Yeah, but even if you want to make that policy, create another till.
That's the thing. That is what I'm telling you. That's the difference between experience and service. You understand? Experience is everything you want to do, put the customer in the middle and think like the customer. How would the customer feel? Because customer experience is all about emotions and empathy. So if they had planned it well, if they had designed the journey of those who are coming to make non-sale purchases and those who are coming for sale purchases, if they had accurately designed that journey and intentionally designed how they want the experience to be like, all of this would not have occurred. They would have either gotten another till or something else. Do you get it? So that was the experience. So the experience itself fundamentally was wrong. And then there was also a challenge with the service. That it wasn't truly service. It was actually the mindset, cultural mindset. That is where organizational adoption and customer-centric culture comes in. Because that deals with people. You understand? So if they had taken everybody along, if they had accountabilities and responsibilities and everything, this staff member would not have been that rude to Kojo and his friend. And if they listened to customers, they would have had all this information before. And that brings us to this voice of customer methodologies. Because if you listen to your customer, then you know what the customer needs are, and then you can design to suit your customer's need, the preferred experiences they want to have. So that was how I wanted to start
Okay,
this
to
topic.
that institution which offered that kind of service, we are all learning as a people. Let's learn to do things properly and make sure that next time the experience we give our customers are not ones that they regret having, but
Yep.
ones that they look forward to. Like Maya Angelou said, people will forget what you gave them, they'll forget what you said to them, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.
Most
My
definitely.
my experience is again my barbers.
Ooh.
Yes, how many cats in Osu? And I say this because you see, they go beyond. They think like the customer. When I have a haircut at my barber's, they know that I'm coming from the office and I'm wearing a white shirt and I don't
Yeah.
want pieces of hair in my shirt and I'm probably going for another meeting. So they make sure that after they've done everything, they go around and dust everything off. And then this is the part that kills me. They put a warm towel in hot water and they give me a good rub so all the pieces of hair falls up and then they give me a nice spray sheen.
Yeah.
And every time I remember it, I want to go back and have a haircut. So
That's
it's a
it
great
for it.
experience. That's my experience. When we
Yeah.
get interactive, I want to hear your experience that you loved with anything you dealt with and why you want to go back.
Yeah.
But let's go into today. Voice of customer methodology.
Yes, voice of customer. I think the phrase says it all.
Yeah.
Voice of customer. So, like I previously stated, customer experience is about the customer. It's putting the customer at the center of everything you do. And how will you be able to put the customer at the center of everything you do unless you listen to the customer? Because the customer would tell you what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, what you can improve on, and then based on that, you can do what you need to do. There are different methods and various methods that you can do that. You can get customer, voice of customer information. And voice of customer, so we have what we call the voice of business. We have voice of customer, that is from your external customers. And then we have the internal one, which is the voice of employee. Because guess what? Your employees also use your products and services. And they are a direct interface of your customer. So they can tell you firsthand what the customers are saying. So we have the voice of customer, we have the voice of employee, and then we have what we call the voice of process. So the process that you have put in place, you should go back and look at it and let it talk to you if it's actually what your voice of customer is saying. You understand? And all three we put together, we call it voice of business. And you need that voice of business to drive a business transformation, a customer experience transformation for your business. Today we are only focusing on the voice of customer. And before we start, I would like to recap last week. We talked about
Yes, by
culture,
all means.
and it was 3 questions. What is my role? Who are my customers? And what do I do for them? That is what every individual or every staff member should ask themselves. And then for organizational adoption, you need to have a CX governance, and you need to break down the silos. And you also need to measure. You need to have a measurement for your people. So then, what is voice of customer? A voice of customer program is a term that describes your customers' feedback about their experiences with and expectations for your product and services. It gives insights into customer needs, expectations, understandings, preferences, problems, and complaints. So it's a total information from a customer's point of view, from a customer's feedback. And you get this feedback, like we just said, across various channels. Some can give you through the online, some can give you through your app, some can call the contact center, some can go to your point of presence, that is your branches or your shops, to give you that feedback. Some will write it on a piece of paper. Some banks and other institutions have it right in front of the receptionist, where you can tap on smileys to give feedback. Some will push it to you. After you interact with them, they'll push it to you, SMS or something like that. How was your interaction with us today? These are various ways
Rate our service.
rate our services. These are all voice of customer information they are gathering, because they need to know from each area that there's a touch point, from each touch point, how customers feel and perceive the experience that the touch point is giving them. If it is online, app, and those ones, digital ones, we call them the digital experience. They are digital touch points. We have the purchase experience or the buyer experience if they are now buying from you. We have the onboarding experience if you have to set them up on a system or whatever. So we have different types of experiences and different types of touch points. and different ways of getting feedback from customers who have touched you at one point in time. It can be good feedback, it can be bad feedback, it can be a request, it can be a complaint or anything, but you need to take that information because that is what would actually give you an idea of how your customers are seeing you. And funny enough, they end up giving you competitor insights when they deal with you.
In this place, they don't do it like this. In that place,
Yes,
it's better.
even
In this
I
place-
used it. Even I made a comment like that I think it was this week. Was it this week? I think it was this week. It was Monday. I was going to wash my car, and where I normally wash the car, they had no water. So the next 2 junctions, there was a car wash on my way to the office. And I went there and I said, I didn't ask for the price. I said, wash my car for me. Just the body, because I was sitting in the car. They washed it nicely and everything. And then when I finished, how they did it, I didn't like. The car didn't look washed. They didn't want to clean the carpet. I said, come and clean my carpet. Too known. They came to clean the carpet. And I said, okay, now how much? And the guy said, Madam, 20 cedis. I said, 20 cedis, that's a lot. Even your counterparts on that junction, they charge 15 cedis. Why are you charging me 20 cedis? That's how much we charge. You talk to the boss. So he pointed me to an elderly man. And I went to him. I said, boss, please, why are you charging 20 cedis? But your competitor here, that's the man here, he's charging 15. If you don't come back again, 20 is too much. And if you won't come back, don't come back. I have my own customers who will come back. I said, what?
So you were scandalized.
I was scandalized. And what he said that killed me was...
Take your business away.
He said,
Have you heard
Madam,
that one before?
and let me say it in Tree, yes. Madam, say won't to me into ya, can you fan chow?
Now that's embarrassing.
It was very embarrassing. So I paid. And I left.
But that's the last time you
You see, I told myself, you have no idea who you are dealing with as a customer. You don't know the power of the word of mouth.
Yes.
And how it can break you down as an institution. Your customer just gave you free competitor insights, which you did not take. You understand? So you have lost on so many counts just because of how you dealt with the whole situation, or just because of how the customer had felt dealing with you.
And let me just chip this in. I suppose that we're all learning every day. We're not perfect, and it's out of our mistakes that we become better. So here's a learning point for us. If you run a business and you at any point feel that you're doing the customer a service or a favor, you're doing the customer a favor, let's begin to change our mindset. You're not doing anyone a favor. We said this here on the show last week. Monopolies are breaking. Competition abounds. Today, the AFTA is here with us, Africa Continental Free Trade Area. So if you think you were the only one who was doing something here in this part of the world, now you're competing with the whole of West Africa and Africa for that matter. So you are not doing anybody a favor by offering a service. Let's begin to change our mind and stop telling people, if you won't buy, go to the next person. Now, word of mouth is really fast, and the social media as well. It won't cost them anything to do a small video, and you can take them to court. By the time you take them to court, the damage is done. So let's change our mindset and our thinking. You're not doing anyone a favor by offering them a service. Stop telling customers, take your business away. You really don't want them to take their business away. Okay. All right. I just thought I'd chip that in very quickly.
I think it's very important you hammered on that. You are very right. So moving on, how do we, the methodologies of voice of customer, how do we gather voice of customer information? One are surveys. I think we all know surveys. Yeah. And then customer interviews, where you sit one-on-one with customers. You visit them or they visit you over drinks or whatever and talk to them. Normally, we'll do this with our high-value customers, or, people like that. We talk to them, customer interviews. And then we have focus groups.
I was going to talk about focus groups.
Yes. We call them friends of the company. They will tell you as it is. When you sit with them, they give you a lot of information. And you use focus groups also to get, to design your personas, who your customers are and how they feel. You can use focus groups.
Let me just say something quickly about focus groups. I mean, while the selection of focus groups, I beg your pardon, may differ from company to company, what I do when I'm dealing with my customers is that the people who make my life very difficult, they are the ones that I pay attention to. Because in truth, they didn't wake up in the morning and decide today I'm going to make this person's life miserable. It's a service that you gave them, it's experience they had that they're reacting to.
Yep.
So oftentimes you find that when you focus on those people during your feedback time and say, listen, I want to grow as a business. How can I make my business better? They'll give you free information.
Oh, yeah.
And even competitor information. So don't run away from the ones who make your life difficult. You find that when you have surmounted that difficulty, they become your best friends and your best advocates also.
Yeah.
That's my experience and that's my advice.
No, you're right on that. You are very right on that. Anyway, so then we have social listening. You go on social media and then you pay attention. Most of our companies have the marketers doing that. So any mention of your company, they pick up and then they read.
Social media has become a social court too.
I'm telling you.
If you give somebody a bad experience, they will just report it to the social court.
Yes, they will make or break you.
I'm telling you.
They are powerful when it comes to changing the perception of a brand.
At the time you post it on Twitter.
And it goes viral.
Hey.
Yes.
Within 2 hours, if you haven't seen it, that's it.
I always say we have given the power to the customer in this digital world. And so they make or break a company. And if we don't understand that and make changes, then we are lagging.
And you see, we also need to understand, Esther, that the customer, including me and you, has evolved.
Exactly.
The customer has changed. The customer of 2 years ago is not the customer of today. The customer today is spoiled for choice. So the customer has options. We need to understand that. If we're still dealing with the customer of yesterday, then that's where, there's a little disconnect. But the customer today has changed.
Yeah, customers are now more vocal too, because years ago, if you do something in Ghana, they go and you treat them bad, that's, naturally, Ghanaians, we are not very, so we say, it's okay, don't worry. But now, even Ghanaians have become very vocal. It's true. They'll either shout on social media or they'll tell you to your face. Yeah. Or they'll say, I want to talk to your superior or your supervisor. Yeah. That's what we've gotten to. So you have to make sure that you get all this information from the customer. Social media is a good place to get free information. So is website behavior analysis. If people come to your website, like we said, customer experience is all touch points, not only the service part of it. So a website is a touch point. And the only way you can you can understand the customer from a website is if you have that behavior analysis. You pull that information. When customers come, where do they normally click? Is it complaints? Is it product? And if it's product, which product? Then it means there's a problem there. Let's look. You understand? So you have to use the website behavior analysis for that. Online reviews. When I'm buying something on Instagram or anything, I want to check reviews.
What has the experience of those who have been ahead of me been?
Exactly.
What do they say about the product?
Exactly. If I want to download an app, I check reviews. If I want to buy something online, I check. Now that is where the world is going to.
Reviews.
Reviews. And somebody can give you a review and rate you a 1 star, and so reviews are a good place to look for voice of customer information. And you don't, and one thing is ethnography, which we don't do much in Ghana. So ethnography from a customer experience perspective is just sitting and watching. So, for example, myself as a customer experience person, if I'm contracted as a consultant to do any customer experience, whatever, the first thing I do is I visit your shops like a normal, I wouldn't say mystery shopping, but I just sit. I probably won't, if it's a bank, I won't ask any questions. I just sit and watch. My own bank, I do it. You sit and you watch. Staff members know you are there, but they don't know what you are there for. So you're just sitting and watching. And you're not watching the staff, you're watching the customers and how their actions and inactions when it comes to dealing with your people. And you pick a lot of the non-vocal ones, the body language. They might be smiling, but their body language is saying, I'm not happy. So
and you can't hide that one.
You can't hide it. Your facial, you can't hide it. So you pick all that information through ethnography. And all of these are methodologies that you can use. Like I said, customer experience is a discipline, and now it's a science.
Indeed.
You need to understand that you need to do all these things. Behavioral science is part of customer experience. You know how your customers are behaving across your touch points to make decisions. So these are the methodologies that you can use to garner voice of customer information, And then there are some considerations you need to look at when you are going into voice of customer data gathering. One is for you to design your customer feedback journey well. If you want to get good feedback from customers, design the journey well. When you even push the information to them, it's critical. If you wait for a week after they've visited your shop to ask them for feedback, they've probably even forgotten. Unless it's a bad one.
Especially if the top of mind awareness isn't in your favor.
Exactly. You understand? So the timing is very important. The channel you use is very important. Even the timing. At times, if you want to call, are you calling at around 8 o'clock when they're in a meeting? All those things count. So the channel is important. The timing is important. It has to be simple. I like using smileys. The easiest, anybody can look, read, and then tap a smiley. Simplicity is always key when it comes to designing a voice of customer, product or project or system. And then authenticity. That word.
It's a mouthful, but yes, we know it.
So you have to be authentic. Don't send general information. Don't send general. How was our service? No. I've ever seen some institutions that will push you. Oh, you visited our Tamale branch for a withdrawal. How was the experience? Some even go as far as saying, and you spoke to Esther Fosuhene as a customer service officer. Can you please rate her attitude or something? So make it very authentic to you as a brand. And then closed loop is the last consideration under designing your customer feedback well. When you get the information, what do you do with it? Especially when it is bad.
You shelve it. You hide it.
That is what you call
you ignore it.
The loop.
You pretend it's not there. It becomes the elephant in the room.
So customer experience is saying you need to close the loop. Because you have all the customer information. When you get a customer who is not happy and they have stated it in the voice of customer feedback, call them. And we realize that you were not happy with the service. What was wrong? What went wrong? Can you help us make it better? The closing the loop makes the customer very satisfied, knowing that you've listened to them. It's when you
don't close the loop, then they take you to the social platform.
Exactly.
They say, here, you can't ignore me. Here, you can't shut me up. And you find that most times, when they take you to where you can't shut them up, then you start running to them.
Exactly. But why do you have to wait for it to get there when you can close the loop? You have all the information at your fingertips. That is, if the organization have all these tools and systems, you have all this information at your fingertips. Why do you have to wait? If you're a store owner or a small business owner, I'm sure your store person will come and tell you, hey, this customer was very upset today. Oh. What are you waiting for? Pick up a phone and call that customer.
I'm sure the next person is,
they'll probably even diss you, boss and staff. They'll diss you and they'll move on with their life. So these are some of the things that you need to look at: channel, simplicity, authenticity, and then closing the loop of all your feedback channels. That is one consideration.
Right. Please hold that thought for me. I know we have a lot more to share, but I do want to get interactive. This is Masterclass here on Superstation Joy 99.7. If you've just tuned in, we're here talking about customer experience with Esther Dokua Fosuhene. We're getting interactive shortly. But before we do that, we take a quick message from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Ekuya has sickle cell disease. Kweku is battling with prostate. Auntie Mary has a family history of cancer. All these people have either inherited a genetic disorder from parents and present in the child at birth, or even due to some environmental factors. Remember that genetic conditions affect all ages, economic, social, and religious groups. Don't discriminate if they look different. Early detection may help early intervention and treatment. As we start the GA Genome Project, we invite you to join and follow our public lecture series and get free genetic testing and screening. For more updates and information on how to get the free genetic testing and screening, call 0302 959 246 or visit www.gagenome.org.
Your favorite on-air business development program, Joy Business Masterclass, is in session, and you can interact with us on Facebook via the Joy 99.7 FM or Joy Business pages. If you tweet, the handle is at Joy 997 FM or at Joy Business GH. Don't forget to hashtag JB Masterclass. You can also call us on 0302 216541. or send your questions and contributions through to the WhatsApp number 0551 111997, and our facilitators will address your concerns. Attention everyone, class is in progress.
Welcome back. If you've just tuned in, this is Masterclass here on your superstation Joy 99.7. We're interactive right now. Numbers to call 0302 216 541. That's 0302 216 541. You can also send us your comments on 055 1111 997. Today is the last show in our series of customer experience. First of all, we want to hear what your one customer experience has been in this week or last week, whether it was good or bad. And then, of course, you can ask a question or share your comments as well. You can also send us that same information on social media on our WhatsApp line on 055 1111 But we do want to hear your voice. Pick up that phone, give us a call. 0302 216 541. That's 0302 216 541. If you have any motor vehicle of any kind, Goyle has some great news for you. Goyle, your oil marketing company of choice, keeps making life ever so convenient. Goyle now accepts Momo for all fuel purchases at key selected stations. Just remember to Momo it at Goyle. And that is not all. You can pick up your bank card and use that to buy fuel at any Goyle filling station, and this is made possible by APSA. So drive to any of our Goyle stations now and buy your fuel and pay by Momo or bank card. Goyle, good energy. Goyle, Yenara, Yedia. Did you know that disorders like sickle cell disease, breast and prostate cancers have a genetic component? Genetic conditions affect all ages, economic, social and religious groups. The GH Genome Project includes public lecture series on the Ghanaian genome and free genetic health screening of sickle cell diseases, breast and prostate cancers. We invite you to join the GH Genome Project. Early detection may help early intervention and treatment. GH Genome, our duty to decode. Phone lines are now open 0302 216 541. Let's hear your thoughts. By all means, we want to hear your thoughts because today is the final edition of our conversation on customer experience. We've distinguished strongly between what customer service is and what customer experience is. But most importantly, we're talking about the methodologies on how to get this feedback that helps your business to grow. 0302 216 541. You can also send us your comments on 055 1111 997. I've got Sarah Manful from Winneba. Sarah says, great discussion, Yao and Esther. Esther is on point, but some customers are very abusive. How do you deal with such customers? This is Sarah Amanful from Winneba. How do you deal? Sarah wants to know. Says some customers are very abusive.
Well, Sarah, you can't run away from such customers, yeah? I know, probably abusive, verbal abuse, right? It's definitely not physical.
Hey, not just verbal. I know of a situation where a customer went to a certain bank and the teller was heavy. She was getting close to her term.
Wow.
And I don't know what happened with the service. The customer reached inside the cage and slapped this teller. I mean, what happened after that is history. But I'm just pushing home the point that Sarah is making. Some customers can be very abusive.
Yeah.
But what do? We are all trying to build this thing together. So what do we do?
You see, this is from a personal point of view. I would not stand for any customer to abuse my staff, whether verbal or physical or emotional, or whatever it is. Because before my customers are my employees, they are delivering on the service to the customer. It's quite unfortunate that these things would happen, but I think that the company or the higher up of that company should step in. Under no circumstance should a customer be allowed to abuse a staff because we want their business. Under no circumstance should that happen. Because if you stand by the customer's side, you have lost the trust of your staff. Do you know what is going to happen? They will start leaving.
Yeah.
Because they know that if it has happened to Ajwa, it will happen to me. You understand? You need to let them get that trust in you that you would not stand by and let anybody abuse them.
So we're saying that to the best of our ability, let us help the customer with what they want.
Exactly.
They are agitated because they are not getting what they want. But having said that, customer, please don't also abuse the staff.
And I'm sure they will have policies in place that if any such thing happens, there are ways and means that they would address these issues. I'm sure every organization would have something. Even small and medium scale enterprises would have something like that in place. So yeah.
Okay. I'm still waiting to hear what your one customer experience has been this week. Waiting for my first call, 0302-216-541. Pick up that phone and give us a call. But while we're waiting for the phone calls to come through, we do still have some content to share. Yes?
Yeah.
All right.
So we are talking about considerations, and we've spoken about designing your customer feedback journey well. The next is your voice of customer should be representative of all your customers.
It shouldn't be skewed.
It should not be skewed. It should be a representative of all your customers and the end-to-end customer journey. What we mean by that is customers go through a journey with you as a brand or an organization. They will start with awareness, then they'll have to make a decision to purchase, and then they will have to move on to the next and the next. So there's a whole journey involved in the customer life cycle. You have to measure customer feedback across all the journey points. So if they hit you at the awareness stage and they ask a question, you can glean information from that question they are asking. When they are purchasing from you, the feedback they will give you or the feedback that you request for them, you have to use that into consideration as well, and so on and so forth. So it should be a representative of all your customers and the end-to-end customer journey. The third one is you must not forget to pull feedback as well as push it. So when customers give you feedback, customers will go on social media and give you feedback. Pull them. That's free information. But at times you also have to push. Send them SMSs. Send them, how are we doing? Once in a while. So customer feedback is push and pull.
The more personalized it is, the better.
Exactly.
I know someone who says when you send me a good morning at the beginning of my day, and you didn't have the decency to type GOODMORNING. And you type GDMN, I won't read it. I won't even respond.
What's GDMN?
Well, it's a short form of good morning.
Right, I wasn't.
It says I won't even respond because you didn't. It's not that important to you. I'm not important. Why? Don't send me a shorthand of good morning. Type the good morning and send it. You know.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, come on, and.
Well, I mean, this is how people feel about different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you know your customers well, you know how people want to be addressed. Hello, Esther.
Yes.
By their name.
Otherwise, don't bother.
I always say the name is the sweetest sound and word to everybody. Their name.
Imagine the kind of emotional journey a customer goes through when your name is Yao Barnafo, and you get a text that says, "Good morning, Yao." It goes, "No, we're happy to reach you. Thank you for banking with us. Yao, a free. We will reach out to you again." I'm like, really?
Really? I'm
So
Barnafo. I'm not free.
Exactly. It was that other Yao.
These little things, they go a long way to mess up the customer's experience. And they'll leave you and you don't know what happened.
They won't tell you about it. They just walk away.
So let's be very, very careful. And then also let's understand that there are two primary reasons for doing this whole thing. Voice of customer, pushing voice of customer and gathering that information. Two primary reasons. One is finding the truth. And two is fixing it. So push that information. Get the truth from the customer's perspective, because the customer's truth are your truth. So the customer's truth are your truth. So get the information from the customer and don't sit on it. Fix it. That's the only way the customer will know you are listening. You fix it.
I think I have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're welcome to Masterclass. Your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, good afternoon. Yeah, please, this is Lukman from Teshinunga.
Right, Lukman, how are you, my brother? It's been such a long time.
Yes, I'm doing well. Thank you very much.
Good. Talk to me.
Yeah, please, is it always fair to compare prices, especially as a customer, if you don't know the cost of operation between the competitors? Example, as a butcher, I always make sure that I protect my customer's health. But when somebody comes and compare my price to somebody I know and I know how they operate, and you compare the prices, is it fair? I know I always try my best to provide my customers the best quality of meat, and the quality and the quantity, they should get it. But I know my competitors' whose prices are a little lower, and the customers will always complain of those prices, especially those who are in the government properties. They don't pay tax. Most of them, they don't even know what income tax is. They don't know what is health. Do you understand? And they don't even pay rent. And you come and compare those prices. Is it always the best? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lukman. I think that's a very heartfelt concern there. But
Yeah.
Lukman, you're a good man. I remember you asked this question earlier on in the year when we were talking about something else. You're a good man and you have a good heart. Keep doing what you're doing because in the end, it will pay off. But let's hear what Esther. I think I have another caller on the line. Esther, so just make a note of that. We'll react to Lukman. Good afternoon. You're welcome to Masterclass. Your name and where you're calling from.
Good afternoon. My name is Larry. I'm calling from Tema.
Larry, how is Tema this afternoon?
I have been. It's rather interesting that I just sat in my car and I started listening to your program, and I have a question. Right. I have been online looking for a referral for a product, and then I contacted the company's online platform. Now, I don't know how customer relations probably work, but I'm supposed to make payments before any form of repairs. Now, the individual is not allowing me to talk to the office manager, but expecting me to make payments first. I don't know if it is in line with what you are discussing, but is it okay for the customer to transact business online without speaking to the office manager to confirm any form of payment before the transaction is done?
Larry, I think that's a very genuine question. Please keep listening. Esther will react to that very quickly. And we'll go back to Lukman. Yes.
Okay. So for your question, what I would say is normally for customer experience purposes, if a customer is not very satisfied or not very clear on the next steps to take, or is not very clear on the feedback being given by the company, you have every right to go out and request for it. I'm sure that if it's online, there should be a contact, there should be an email that you can send to get confirmation before you are comfortable enough to transact. I would not advise, if the company is not being very clear on their policies and all that and the processes, and they are not allowing you to reach out for extra information and confirmation and affirmation from yourself that it's the right thing to do, then kindly desist from continuing your relationship.
But even very quickly to business owners who are listening.
Yeah.
We're talking about customer experience. The customer wants confirmation. Do not block the customer from getting the confirmation they want. If your policy is pay before service, if they go to your manager, he will tell them the same thing except in a much nicer way. In the end, if they have to pay before they get the service, they will, but they will do that knowing that they are more comfortable now to do it.
Exactly.
So
I mean, if you're not comfortable, you desist from doing any business with them. It's your prerogative. You are the customer, and I'm sure there will be options out there. However, if that is what if this is the item you really want, then push for the right thing to be done.
Yes.
Send an email. I'm sure they should have a contact, an email, a chatbot, or whatever on there that you can use to send that information across. But if you are not comfortable, then please do not continue with your transaction with the said institution if you think it's not right. But like Yao said, every institution and their rules and regulations and their policies. And so there will be a reason why the policy says make payment before whatnot.
Yeah, but they should give him information. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yes,
Allow
information should go.
To be convinced.
This also adds up to the customer's experience. Information, communication is very key. When you want to deliver a great experience, communication is key, and so that is one thing that we have to look at. And then to Lukman.
Lukman, yes, I was going to say.
Yes, Lukman. So I think you're doing very well, like Yao said, but in customer experience, price is very key. I'm not saying change your pricing. I'm saying explain to the customers why your price is at this level, and your competitors is not. I would not advise you to throw shade on your competitors' products and services. However, you can state that, oh, madam, please, my meat is high-grade meat, and the way I clean it is very good. I use this, I use that, and you know that it is top-notch, and that is why you are paying this price for it. It is deserving of the price.
When you buy my meat, you won't spend money to go to the hospital.
Exactly. So you have to focus on your side and why you are charging that way. Because price is very important in experience.
We've unfortunately run out of time. In 30 seconds, if you can, I know you have more content to share, but what is our takeaway from these 4 weeks? What should we remember in our engagements with Esther Ofusu Adokohini on customer experience?
In fact,
Or what should we not forget?
this is what you should not forget. I would leave this my quote. This is my favorite quote
Favorite of all time.
of all time, and those who know me know. It's by Mahatma Gandhi. He says, "A customer is the most important visitor on our premises. He is not dependent on us. We are dependent on him. He is not an interruption in our work. He is the purpose of it. He is not an outsider in our business. He is a part of it. We are not doing him a favor by serving him. He is doing us a favor by giving us an opportunity to do so."
I think that sort of sums it all up with everything that we want to say, but there's so much information. I mean, I think, Esther, what we'll try and do is that we'll try and put a few out on our page, the ones who were not able to share. But the videos, like I said, are also available on our Facebook page. By all means, you can download those videos and watch. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here on the show. We've learned so much. The experience has been great. On behalf of all of my listeners, I want to say thank you to you and for the production crew. And we look forward to having you again on the show sometime soon.
Thank you very much.
And to you, my cherished discerning listeners, thank you for being such an awesome audience and for participating in the conversation. We do hope that the information we've shared here has been beneficial to you. Next week, we start another area of conversation, and that is in the area of mindset transformation. If you think it, then you can do it. We'll be privileged to have here with us in the studio Oscar Bimpong. I'll be telling you more about Oscar when we meet next week. But otherwise, thank you so much for being such an awesome audience. And God willing, we'll see you same time next week.